Hi, my name is Corey Schrader, and I teach 4th grade language arts and social studies at Pemberville Elementary in Pemberville, Ohio, and I worked on the 4th grade social studies and language arts lessons for this project. Two of the lessons that you'll see used readwritethink.org. I really like this source. The kids like it. Usually the interactives are pretty simple to use. You'll see that I did Plotting a Fictional Story, which uses an interactive plot pyramid where students can plot different events from a fictional story on a pyramid, and they can move it all around and add whatever they need to. And then I also did a digital timeline with images, which kind of integrates social studies and language arts actually, but my students have really liked both of these in the past. The Mission US and Scholastic lessons that you'll see are kind of similar in that they take students on a more of like a video game like mission, I guess I would say. And Mission US is a little bit higher level. It's intended for middle school students, so you really have to make sure that you debrief with the students. I made a specific lesson plan for this, even though I know you could access this and do it on your own, but because there's over 300 pages of teacher materials just for a single lesson, and I found that really overwhelming, so I just kind of broke it down into how I would use it in a 4th grade classroom. A lot of the activities are really great for enrichment for your stronger students, and you can just choose what you want to use. There's 3 different levels of integration on Mission US. For the Scholastic Underground Railroad lesson, it's a little bit more appropriate for 4th grade, and with both of these, what I'm working on as I use them again this year is creating more digital versions of some of the assignments. So, like the actual activity is online, but a lot of the classroom activities are not, so I use Google Classroom, so I'll be putting some of the activities into Google Classroom, or you could even use Google Docs or Schoology just to get them, again, practicing those word processing skills and the typing skills that are so important for their testing. Finally is the EdSite lesson. EdSite I was pretty new to, and it took me a while to figure it out, but it is a really great place to create all different types of questions that mimic the state tests. I learned the hard way that it's easier to use, in some cases, it's easier to use questions from the bank of questions that are available if you find a question type you like and then edit it. Sometimes, instead of working from scratch, but I think this site is going to be a really, really good way to prepare my students for the online testing that they have to do. And you don't have to create anything on your own. You can completely use other people's items too. Final thoughts, again, I really like to borrow from other teachers. There's so much out there already that I found that I don't really have to recreate the wheel too much. Again, I like to buy items that I can edit so that I can change things slightly if I need to, but there's so much out there. I also encourage you to try new things with your students. Even the best planned lessons, usually if you're dealing with tech, things don't always go the way that you plan them to. So I don't really think there's such a thing as failure. Sometimes I just tell the kids, you know what, we didn't get it right yet this time, but we're going to try it again. Or I might even tell them at the beginning, I've never done this before, we're going to just see how this goes. We're all going to work together. And I love that students have to problem solve. Sometimes students end up shining in this area that might not shine other places in the classroom, which is really cool. And I think it's important for students to see teachers as problem solvers. And it's what makes some of this learning so authentic. And it helps our students to learn to persevere and to have some grit. So I think it's really, really important, even when things don't go right. It's a learning experience. So I hope that you enjoy these lessons, and I hope that some of them are at least helpful to you. Thanks a lot.